What's up everybody, I'm Jesse Showalter, and today I'm going to be talking about my client website handoff process. Everybody loves starting a website project. There's so much excitement and it's so much fun, but it's a little bit less fun usually to be finishing that same project. There's been lots of emails, iterations, communication, back and forth, and you just want to be done. Before we get started, this video is sponsored by Dev Mountain. Dev Mountain is a bootcamp experience that offers on-campus and online programs for people who want to start a new career in design or development. The tech field is booming right now, and it's not going to stop anytime soon. So if you're interested in learning web development, iOS development, or UX design in an immersive 13-week program that'll spit you out career ready, then check out the link in the description and check out Dev Mountain. The handoff process is really important when you're dealing with clients. It's not just the work that you've done, but it's how you offer them the work, how you prepare them, and how you send them out the door as a happy customer. Imagine going into a retail store looking for a new shirt. You find the shirt you want, you can imagine yourself wearing it once you get outside, and you're really excited about that end result. But buying it was really awful, and the way that they rang you up, they were condescending and rude. You're having a bad experience, and it takes the fun out of buying that shirt. That client experience will determine whether or not I'm going back to that store to buy that shirt again, or whether I'm going to the store down the street. The same thing goes for your handoff process. It's a representation of who you are and the type of work that you do and the type of work that you want to continue to do. After years of handing off websites in a really poor fashion, I realized that something had to change, and that something was someone, and that someone was me. I needed to change the way that I thought about client services and the way that I satisfy my clients, and the handoff process was a huge piece of it. I do want to say briefly that the goal of this video is not for you to copy my handoff process verbatim, but it's for you to create your own handoff process and pick different pieces that work for you and for your clients. With all that being said, these are some of the core elements of my client handoff process. Part number one is training and education. You've spent so much time creating, making, designing, developing. It's worth it to spend a few extra hours preparing them to actually take hold of the keys, take ownership, and drive out successfully. Education and training should be not only for website handoffs, but for any sort of creative work that you do for a client. If you're doing a logo design project for a client, they might not know what a .ai file is or what an SVG is. A lot of people don't know what these file extensions are. So taking a moment and just explaining to them what they are, what they might be used for now and in the future will just take their experience to like the next level. If you are handing off a website project to a client, you want to make sure that they understand how to maintain it, how to make updates and change the content. If you've built it into some sort of CMS or open source content management system, it would be helpful to point them towards some tutorials or basic training on how to use that system. What I actually like to do is create some custom video screencasts for all of my clients and all the projects that I hand off. I upload those into a private playlist on YouTube, and then I embed them on a private page on their website so they can just go to the .com/help me or tutorial page, and they can always go back and retrain themselves on how to do specific things for their specific site. I think the biggest thing here is preparing them, educating them, training them, and just helping them to take ownership over what's theirs. Okay, point number two might sound a little bit cheesy, but it's really about empowerment and encouragement. For a lot of people, this is their first experience working with a web designer or web developer, and it might be their first time actually taking ownership of a custom-built website project. They might feel a little bit intimidated, and so you're gonna have to put on your hat of encourager and friend and motivator and coach. They're able, they're ready, they're skilled enough to do this, that they just go back to the basics and do what they've been trained to do, and they're gonna be okay. You'd be surprised how many clients are actually afraid and they don't wanna touch it. And so therefore, that beautiful project that you've spent so many hours pouring time and energy into never gets used. They never blog like they planned on it. They never change the content or update the banners because they're terrified that they might break something. Empower them, encourage them, show them that they are able. With that being said, there's nothing more encouraging and empowering than having a plan. So number three is to have a maintenance plan in place before you hand off the website to your client. How often is the site going to go through regular maintenance? How often are you going to update the plugins and the content management system? How often are you, as the person who handed off to them, going to come back and just kind of peek in and make sure that everything's still operating okay? Set up a plan for that. Set up a maintenance schedule. Let them know that you're going to peek back in every 2 weeks or 6 weeks or 12 weeks or whatever it is. Just make sure they understand that there's a maintenance plan on your end, but that there also should be a plan on their end. Following up on website maintenance is super important. That's making sure the site is running smoothly, that nothing's broken. That's the technical side of things. But what about the relational side of things? Well, that's point number 4. That's what we call the follow-up or a post-mortem. Set a time, a week, 2, 3 weeks after the project has completed, to check back in with your client and see how the entire experience went for them. Did they enjoy it? Is there anything that you can improve or could have improved to help them enjoy the experience more? You want to check in with them relationally and see how the project went, see if you could have done anything better or you could have improved your services, how you could have served them better. It shows a level of kind of like relational care, and it's just a helpful thing. It's like walking back into that store where you were looking at that shirt, and instead of finding a snotty employee that was snide to you, it's like finding a person who remembers your name. Every time you walk into a store and somebody remembers your name, that really blows your mind. It shows that they care. And so showing people that they care. How's your business going? How's your family doing? How's the site? Is the site generating you money? How could I have improved my offerings to you? Was there anything you were, like confused about that I could clear up for you? All of those things are really, really important to tackle in a follow-up or post-mortem. Okay, last one on the list is the re-engagement. This comes not 3 weeks after, but maybe 2 months or 3 months or 4 months after the project is all over. You want to check in with them and see if there's anything else that you can do for them. How's the project running? How's everything working? Is there anything else that, I can do to help you in your current kind of business situation? I work with a lot of small businesses and nonprofits, and this is always really, really helpful because after the project's done, they're probably flying on cloud 9. They're really, really excited how the project went, and they can't think of the next thing. Maybe sometimes they can, but they can't really verbalize it or kind of get everything down in a really solidified way. So checking back with them a month or 2 later and seeing if there's anything new that's happening, any challenges that they're having in their business or in their nonprofit, and then the gears start turning. They think, actually, just the other day I was thinking I have this problem, maybe you could help us solve that. And that's a really good thing to do, is just occasionally check back in with them. Well, that's it. That's a look inside of my client website handoff process. It may not be the perfect process, but it's working out for me really, really well. Clients are really, really excited about how I interact with them and care for them. And overall, it's just a good feeling for them and for me to know that I've empowered them, encouraged them, prepared them, trained them to really take ownership and really enjoy everything I've made for them, but then also to enjoy working with me then and in the future. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I do lots of videos about design and development and freelancing just like this one, so maybe stick around. If you have any questions, make sure to leave them down in the comments. I'll get back to them as soon as I can. I hope you guys are having an amazing week designing amazing things, making amazing things, and finishing your project strong. I'll see you in the next one.